What's good? Good day to y'all, my viewers and subscribers. It's Ramadan. I'm back again with another video. As you can see today, I'm outside. I decided to make a video outside because there's no light in my house. Yeah, the lights just went out in my house and I just can't get them to turn on. Yeah, I usually make my videos indoor, but today I decided to make my video outside. And today I'm gonna basically be talking about how the traditional healer put me through misery. Yeah, I don't know if I've previously explained this in my videos, but by now I think I did. I think I did say this a couple times that I have been a drug addict in the past. I wouldn't say drug addict, but I was dependent. I was heavily dependent on drugs. I think an addict is someone who can't stop using drugs. But me, I can't stop using drugs if I put my mind to it. I can stop if I decide that it's not helping me. I've always been able to shut it off and not, go back to like using. But I was heavily dependent on drugs, and what happened was this particular summer, I went home to my home country, Uganda. And while I was staying at home with my parents, usually I study in the USA. I studied in Wichita, Kansas, but this summer, this was my first summer, like, in this particular campus that I was at, and I decided to go home for the summer. When I went home for the summer, for some reason, I wanted to smoke up because my country had just legalized marijuana, and I had smoked up a blunt. I was smoking up with like my roommate and his friend. Like before I left, we had a couple of smoke sessions where we were getting lit and we were smoking up, and I had just smoked up with these guys. And so when I went back to my home country, I decided, what the hell? There was all of this news, but it was like fake news about them legalizing marijuana. Because up till this day, they said that they legalized it, but up till this day, ain't nothing legal back home. So there was all of this news, and I was so hyped up about like finally being able to smoke weed and it being legal. So that summer I went home, and when I had some money on me, like the first thing that I did was I hit up a few people that I knew that smoke up and asked them for like, their connect, such that, I could get on, the program. So I hit these guys up and they connect me with their plug, their source, and I hit up like in a short span in that first week, I must have hit up like 2 or 3 plugs, but I must have gotten it from like 2 plugs. But like when I got it, I thought that I was gonna be smoking occasionally, I thought I was gonna be smoking occasionally. I thought I was gonna be smoking with friends. But when I got the weed, I don't know what it was. I think it was just like me going through things and just like using weed to cope with the things I was going through. And I was smoking weed, and when I was smoking weed, I would like smoke, and then like I couldn't turn it off. I thought it was gonna be like occasionally. I thought I was gonna, have like occasional moments when I'm smoking, maybe like on weekends or like when I'm with friends or something. But it ended up becoming habitual. It ended up becoming like an everyday thing. It ended up becoming repetitive, and I ended up smoking every day, every single day. Like during that first month that I was back home, I was smoking every day, and I was smoking like 3 times a day. And I was enjoying the high, I can't lie. I really was enjoying the high. It really was feeling good to me. And when I was on it, I was feeling creative as hell. I would get on it, start smoking, get high, and then I would go like create music in my room. I would go write songs, and then I would come up with songs, and then it would make me feel good. But it reached a point where it was itching into my pocket. It was getting into my pockets, and I was spending a lot. My mom would give me money for like, just like money to like keep myself busy with things, because I do music, and she had given me money for music. She had given me money for like different things. I can't remember exactly. She had given me a lot of money. She had given me like $300 in that month, and I spent it all on weed. I blew it all on weed. I was smoking every damn day. I spent like $300 on weed in a month, and I was smoking every damn day, getting high. And $300 on weed in my country is a lot of money, because weed in my country is not even that expensive. One joint costs like $3, you know. It's not even that expensive. One joint costs like $3, and you know, that goes to show you how much I was smoking. So I was smoking a whole lot that summer. And what happened was, my dad came home. My dad usually doesn't stay in the country because he works like abroad. And he came back home that summer, and when he came home, he called me when I was high one time, and he told my mom about it. And when my mom found out, she threatened to take me for drug tests. And then I just told her, yeah, I've been smoking. And what she did was that, in order for her, she thought that the best thing for me to do to get off smoking was to get on like some herbal medicine, some traditional medicine from a traditional healer. So we went to see this traditional healer one time. And when we went there to the guy's place, like the first thing he did was he started talking to me. You know, he started handing my mom some medication for me to take. He gave my mom this, like, it was this like very, 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 very strong smelling medication that was like, you know how like strong ammonia is? It was like that strong. It was like very, very potent. Like you would smell it a little bit and it would like give you like some sensation in the head, you know. And then he did this thing to me whereby he got this syringe that had in this liquid in it, and he walked up behind me when I was unsuspecting. He just walked up behind me mid-convo when he was talking to my mom, and he just grabbed the back of my head. Like, he just grabbed me from the head. He just grabbed me from like my head, and then he pulled my head back and he inserted the syringe inside my nose and injected like some liquid into my nose. And I'm just someone who feels uncomfortable when I have like stuff in my nose. I can never do cocaine because like I have a sensitive like nose. I have my nasal airways is sensitive. And so when he did that, I just got to sneezing. I just couldn't stop sneezing. I was sneezing in the car ride all the way home. I was sneezing. And he just did this thing to me where like he was just treating me like he just manhandled me, you know? Like he just manhandled me, and I didn't like it. I didn't like the way he manhandled me. And when we got home, he told my mom to do some procedure with me. And what the procedure was is that she had me smoke a joint in front of her. And then after smoking the joint, he gave my mom this medication. It was a very small medication. Like, she put like half of a teaspoon inside like a whole big jug of juice, right? But that medication, like what it did to me was very fucked up. So she put the medication inside the juice, and I like, you know, I poured 1 cup from the jug, and then I drank the cup. But like in less than 2 minutes, I was throwing up badly. Like I just started vomiting. I just started throwing up. And what it was is that my stomach was like, you know, my stomach was like it was having like you know, these contractions. It was having like these contractions, almost like as if I was giving birth. That's what it felt like, because these contractions, they were so painful. And then every time it would happen, I would end up throwing up. And then it felt like a cramp. It felt like cramps, but they were like so painful. Like till this day, if you told me, like, if you were to tell me like what women giving birth feels like, I could probably like estimate like the pain that it is, because it was literally that painful. It was literally that painful to the extent that I could equate it to like the same amount of pain that you feel when you're giving birth. This shit had me hurting so bad that I was literally rolling on the floor while holding my stomach, and I was throwing up. My mom was telling me to like be strong, but this thing was so painful. It hurt me so damn bad. Like I was throwing up for like 2-3 straight hours. And what the thing was is that I didn't know the thing that she had given me to take was inside my juice, you know. So she would tell me to keep drinking. Every time I threw up, she would tell me to keep drinking. But the more I drank, the worse it became. So it took me about like 4 or 5 glasses down for me to realize that it's in what I'm drinking that is fucking me up. It was in what I was drinking that was messing my stomach up, because my stomach was so messed up. I have never felt pain like that in my life till this day. I have been through painful things. I've been to the dentist and I've had like the dentist inject like, that anesthetic inside my gums, and you know how that thing is painful. I've experienced some painful things, but like that is hands down like the most pain I've ever had. I've broken my leg before under a swing, but like, you know, that is like hands down the most painful sensation that I have ever had like before. I have never felt pain like that in my life. And that traditional healer, I don't know why he thought it was a good thing to give my mom that medication, because the funny thing was, he assured my mom that after me taking that dosage that I would never want to smoke again. But that wasn't true, because shortly after I even wanted to smoke, but I just decided not to, because I saw how my mom, thought about it. I saw how much, like, how serious she took it, like, and to her, she took it strongly, like it was a strong taboo to her, and I just decided not to do it while I'm in her house. But like the pain from that whole sensation was so damn hurtful. I've never felt something like that, to the point whereby I was so weakened. I nearly felt like I was gonna die when I was in that in that whole experience, going through that pain, going through that hurt. The first thing that was on my mind was that, hey, am I in hell? Did this guy give me something to make me feel like as if I'm in hell? Because I felt like I'm in hell. To me, when I was going through that whole sensation, I felt like the whole point of that medication was to make you feel like you're in hell. Because, in my religion, some people feel like it's a sin to do certain things, like, get intoxicated or like smoke weed. So I felt like they were trying to put me through the punishment of making me feel like what hell is like, such that I don't do it again, because it literally felt that painful. I felt like that pain was beyond any earthly sensation, any worldly sensation. I felt like, how they tell you that hellfire is very, very painful, like beyond anything that you feel on this earth. That is what I felt like when I was vomiting all that while. I was vomiting everything that I would drink up. I was vomiting everything that I had eaten. Like, I was hurting so bad. My stomach was hurting so bad. All these contractions I was going through were so damn painful, to an extent that when it started going down, I felt relieved. I felt very relieved. They were trying to offer me more things to drink. They were even offering me water to drink, but at that point I didn't even want anything, because the pain that I went through was so damn much. Yeah, so I went through that painful sensation. But till this day, I don't understand what kind of treatment that traditional healers give to people, because he said that he had other clients that he had that was struggling with drug addictions and things like that, and he said that he put them on this same medication. But like, when he was talking, some people, they're just like oil skin snakes, man. What do you call it? Or oil skin snake oil salesman, oil skin snakes, man, whatever you call it. Like those people that sell fake medicines and all that. I legit felt like that is what this guy had done to me, because I was in so much misery. And even when I was with him and he did that thing of injecting that syringe into my nasal cavity, I just don't see how that counts as medication, or how something like that can be seen as a way of helping someone. The funny thing is, I willingly said that I wanted to like go through the treatment, because I wanted to like, in my mom's presence. I wasn't actually thinking this, but just because my mom was there and I couldn't tell her otherwise, I said that I would go through the process of getting, the treatment for like my medication, for like my addiction, my so-called addiction, the treatment for my so-called addiction. And what it was that I went through hell with that traditional healer. And I don't know if it's a real thing, if these traditional healers actually help, or if their remedies actually help. But like, I don't think whatever he did in the moment would have helped me or helped me eventually, because I still struggle with smoking after. You know how in the movie Get Out, what's that movie by Daniel Kaluuya where he's a black guy and then he goes to this lady's house, and then when he's at this lady's parents' house, he goes to his lady's parents' house, and then while he's there, his mom hypnotizes him and he stops wanting to smoke cigarettes. That's how this guy had put it. He said that after I go through that procedure that I did at home of drinking the juice, which has the fucked up medicine inside it that made me throw up, that he said it would make me not want to smoke again. But that wasn't true, because immediately after I wanted to smoke. But yeah, I just wanted to tell a quick story time about my experience with like this traditional healer who supposedly was supposed to help me get rid of my drug addiction, but didn't help me anyway because I still struggled afterwards. And just to describe my experience of what it feels like to go through pain that's seemingly beyond what the body can take, seemingly beyond this worldly input, or like, you know, input of like pain. And I've never felt something that painful in my life, and I just wanted to come on here and just talk about like my experience with things. This has been another video yet again by Rama Dedan. And if you liked what I had to say on this video, or if you found it entertaining, then don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. This has been another video by Rama Dedan, and I'll see you guys later.